عاوزك تكون فاضي في يوم بعد الصلاة على
إن شاء الله تعالى.
في أمور دين ودنيا.
أنت أهل الدين والدنيا.
دين ودنيا. مولانا
الشيخ محمد
ما خلق لك الدنيا طبيعي لك ولا حمل
مصطفى.
اهرب من هاني ذي البر يصور
يعتقد صح الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر إلا الله.
Brothers, please, that's for the sisters. If you come, don't want the sisters. Yes. Come forward, please, so that the sisters will have problem on their own. Is that correct? Yes, the further the better. The further from the sisters, the better. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تبارك وتعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. وأشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وكرم وشرف وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم بلغنا رمضان وأحينا بصحة وعافية لا فاقدين ولا مفقودين. آمين يا رب العالمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. In our last khutbah, we discussed some of the things we need as Muslims to prepare and to welcome Ramadan. And we mentioned few things, and inshallah we will continue to mention more of things which we as believing men and women need before Ramadan and throughout the month of Ramadan. The first thing we mentioned last week was At-Tawbah. Because without Tawbah, one cannot move. The first step to get to draw near to Allah is the first the step of Tawbah. Or the scholars of Suluk, when they explain the maqamat of this deen, they explain the hadith of Jibril when they explain the meaning of these three in Iman and Ihsan. They mentioned that the first stations among the stations of Islam is Tawbah. A Tawbah to then comes anything else. Because Tawbah is when someone wakes up and know that he is in a state of heedlessness and he needs to move. That's when the person starts now walking the path of Sirat al-Mustaqim to meet the Rida of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. We also mentioned Husnul Dhann, the good expectation, having good hope of Allah, from Allah, of the creature of Allah, from the khalq. حسن الظن لما تقدم من حفظ الله تبارك وتعالى ولتخلقه سبحانه وتعالى ولكونه رحمانا رحيما وهابا قبل أن يخلق من يحتاج إلى هذه الرحمة وإلى هذه الموهبة وإلى كل هذه الأشياء الجميلة التي تخلق بها سبحانه وتعالى وكانت من أوصافه سبحانه وتعالى. When we mention Tawbah, we also should mention Taqwa. Because taqwa is the very thing Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala mentions in the Quran that is what we need, is what we need to aim, is what we are going to earn through our soul, through our fasting the month of Ramadan. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykum as-siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. And one of the things we mentioned is what Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, that companion of the Prophet ﷺ, said when he was asked, how did you welcome Ramadan, you Sahaba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He said, none of us had the courage, none of us dared to have any hatred in their heart when Ramadan was about to arrive. And in Ramadan, whenever Ramadan arrives, that is the very time we need to empty every single hatred from our heart. We cannot afford Ramadan with hatred against any person in our heart, because that's going to harm us and that's going to block the blessings of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala and the mercy He sends to us during the months of Ramadan. We mentioned the dua to reach Ramadan. Dua is very important. One of the beautiful things one scholar said that we need to prioritize everything in our life. So in every single given situation, I need to create a dua that has munasaba with that. I'm going home. I ask Allah to grant me a safe trip home, to make it easy for me to drive safe and I am home. And I get up from the bed, even by trying to go to the bathroom and make wudu, I make Allah to make it easy for me and make it possible. And so these are things I get it. I got everything to do, so I don't need dua. Actually, there is where we need dua. One of our scholars tells us there was a guy who had money and he wanted to go to the market and buy a donkey. So he met with a scholar. He said to him, "Ilayn, علي إلى السوق لأشتري حمار." قال له إن شاء الله. قال له لا يحتاج، الحمار في السوق الدراهم في الجيب، لا يحتاج. ذهب. He said, the scholar met him, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to the market to buy a donkey." They say, "Inshallah." He said, "No, I don't need it. I don't need to. Donkeys are in the market. The money is in my pocket. So what's inshallah for? I don't need it." And he realized there were people who were fighting, and one of them, he tried to, help, separate them. In the middle of this fight and this separation, they stole his money. When he arrived at the market and he checked his pocket, nothing was there. So he was so disappointed. And coming back from the market to his house, he met the same scholar. Say, يا ولدي أين الحمار؟ قال سرقت الدراهم إن شاء الله. The money has been stolen, inshallah. So that's why whenever we do some things, we need dua, especially during the month, before the month, and after the month of Ramadan. Because Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala started talking about Ramadan, He stops, He pauses, and puts a very powerful ayah about dua. One of the most beautiful and powerful ayah of the Quran is that ayah of dua, in which Allah puts in the middle of the ayat of Ahkam al-Sawm. Talking about Sawm, he pauses and he puts Ahkam, he puts the ayat of Dua, then he continues. Brothers, we have space here. Please, inshallah, we're gonna have the divider, but that part is the sister's part. So we have space here. The brothers will just come if you can make it. Yes. Yeah, so those of you who are here, you can come here. Please, the others who are going to come will not have problem, please. Jazakumullah khair. Allah in the middle of the ayat of Ahkam al-Sawm, he says, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. When my servants ask about me, usually when Allah says, when they ask, he will right after say to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, say that. But in this ayah, he didn't say that. He removed the say that to show that he is even da'i. إِذَا دَعَانِ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. And we get ready to fast by exercising, by fasting as much as we can during the month of Sha'ban. And we try to practice the fasting of al-khusus, of al-khassa. As Imam al-Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi said, there are three levels of fasting. He says the first level is the fasting of the general people, is to stop eating and drinking and intercourse. Then this type of fast, everyone can do it. هذا صوم العموم أو صوم العامة أو عوام الناس. الإمساك من الأكل والشرب والشهوة أو الإمساك من شهوتي البطن والفرج. He says everyone can do that. And Sawm al-Khusus is the second level of fasting. He says is to abstain from these things as well, but also from every single evil act. As the Prophet ﷺ says, if the fasting, observing fasting, if it does not prevent one from evil talks and idle actions, evil actions, Allah does not need one to stop from eating and drinking. Because that's not what Allah needs. By abstaining from fasting, from eating and drinking, which was halal throughout the year, we are learning to abstain forever from that which is haram in Ramadan and outside Ramadan. And then he said the fasting of the elite of the elite, he says, صوم خاصة الخاصة, is, he says, to remove everything from our heart for Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. We abstain from food, from drink, from sins, but we even put a brake on our thoughts. We control our thoughts during and outside the time of fasting. He says this is the real fasting. And when we fast, we're training ourselves to gain that level or to arrive to that level. Because only fasting should take us to that level. Because Allah says it's for me. It's for Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala tells us to pray. He doesn't. We do. He tells us to do all the things, go to Hajj. He doesn't. We do. But fasting has to do with the qualities of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala himself. What is the quality of Allah? here, he's not eating and not drinking. وَهُوَ يُطْعِمُ وَلَا يُطْعَمُ. Allah feeds you, but he does not eat. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَا يَأْكُلْ وَلَا يَشْرَبُ. So when I'm abstaining from eating and drinking, أنا متخلق بأخلاق الرحمن تبارك وتعالى. These are the qualities of Allah تبارك وتعالى. That's why he says, إلا الصوم فإنه لي. Sound is mine. Therefore, I'm the one rewarding it. When one try to have these qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it has to reflect in everything of himself. As one of our scholars said, when he was explaining this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, when the Prophet talked about hilf al-fudul, he said, La hilf bil-Islam. There's no help in Islam, but there was help prior to Islam. If it was to be repeated, I would have answered. And that's the hilf al-fudul, which occurred in the house of Abdullah ibn Jada'an in Mecca, when the chieftains of Mecca were very oppressive. One of them took the money of a merchant from Yemen, and he didn't want to pay. And this merchant went out at the Mount of Safa, and he called out people. And Zubayr ibn Abdul Muttalib, the uncle of the Prophet ﷺ, different from Zubayr ibn Awam, and Abdullah ibn Jada'an, some people from the tribe of Banu Hashim and others of tribes of Quraysh, they met and made this help to protect the oppressed. When the scholar was mentioning, when mentioned this hadith, and I'm explaining it, he brought us back to these qualities that we need to have in our life for our life to be lived in peace and to be lived according to the teachings of Allah and the Prophet ﷺ. He says the mothers of al-akhlaq go back some to the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna Allah sittir yuhibbu sitr. To cover people's faults. He's one of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna Allah hayy, to have shame to do things is one of the qualities of Allah wa ta'ala. And our Prophet ﷺ said that Allah has haya to reject people when they raise their hands to make dua. We have to have haya to reject the people or to do harmful things, because it's not good. The very mothers, he said, of the akhlaq, التخلق بأخلاق الله تبارك وتعالى وبصفاته سبحانه وتعالى التي أمرنا أن نتخلق بها. And he said, in the qualities of the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام, the qualities of rahmah, بما رحمة من الله لنت لهم ولو كنت فظا غليظ القلب لانفضوا من حولك. The qualities of mercy and forgiveness, as the Prophet ﷺ showed us in many places. One of the most famous of those is the Fath Makkah. 2 years back, he was very oppressed in Makkah, and this oppression continued when he moved to Medina. And when Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala gave him power, he came back and asked, "What do you expect from me?" When Sa'd was saying he had the liwa of the Muslims of Ansar, he said, "Al-yawm yawm malhama, yawm adhalla Allahu bihi Quraysh." Today is a day of war. It's a day when Allah will put down Quraysh, because they're so angry against Quraysh who did all these things to their Prophet. The Prophet ﷺ heard that. He said, "No, al-yawm yawm marhama." use the same صيغة. ملحمة, the Prophet says, اليوم يوم مرحمة, يوم أعز الله فيه قريشا. Today is a day of mercy, a day during which Allah will raise the statues of Quraysh. And he took the raya from Sa'ad to his son, to the son of Sa'ad. Even by punishing, he is showing mercy. He didn't take the raya from Sa'ad to someone else, but to Sa'ad's son himself. And he asked, what do you expect from me? He said, you are a good brother, son of a good brother. He said, go, you are all free. He didn't ask them even to accept Islam for them to be forgiven. And why they kicked him out was Islam. He didn't call them to Islam and say, if you don't accept Islam, I'll kill you. He didn't say that. That's why whenever we say, no, we call them to Islam, if they don't accept, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قَاتِلُوا الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ. Fight against those who fight you. وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. So, and he said, and one of the mothers of the qualities, he says, الْأَوَامِرُ وَالنَّوَاهِ وَالْمَقَاصِدْ الشَّرْعِيَّةِ. The awamir of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala and His Messenger, His commands, and the forbiddencies of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and the maqasid, the objectives. Brothers, please come forward so that when the sisters come, we'll have support, inshallah. Brother Muhammad, after this, we have to take care of the divider, inshallah. Inshallah. The awamir and the nawahi and the maqasid, and this can be found in what is called al-kulliyat al-khams, that are to be protected. The nafs, wal-deen, wal-mal, wal-nisl, wal-'irq. Your nafs doesn't belong to you. You cannot kill yourself, let alone the nufus of others, the life of others. من قتل نفسا بغير أو فساد في الأرض فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا. المال, the wealth of people, you cannot eat them. They need to protect it. النسل, your own child, you cannot kill them, let alone the children of others. And even the animals, you cannot kill them without legal need. And he said, al-'ird, the honor of people. You cannot buy people. You cannot say bad things about people. You just say, I hate this guy. You just hate people, just like that. You can't. For example, sometimes when we watch football or basketball, we develop hatred against one particular player or a team. I'm a follower of doing so. We are so programmed. Very programmed. We are made hate people who have nothing to do with us, who don't even know us. I hate it. I'm a fan of this. If you're a fan of this player, you have to hate that player because they too have problems. Sickness. By trying to have things that al-aql yaqbuluhu, maqbulun aqlan. And fasting instills these qualities in us because we are doing something that is one of the qualities of Allah, that is not eating and not drinking. So we make dua that Allah wa Ta'ala grant us to witness it. And during the fasting, the Prophet ﷺ says, in everything during Ramadan, the servant has an accepted dua, and that's every single day. Every single day you have an accepted dua. So keep making dua. That's how Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala puts that ayah of dua between the ayat of Ahkam al-Sawm. And we need also to be ready to utilize the entire time of the month of Ramadan, doing things that are good to do and abandoning things that are not to be done. اغتنام الوقت لأن شهر رمضان فرصة وأي فرصة. It is an occasion, an opportunity that we don't know whether it's going to be repeated or not. So we really want to know everything that has to do with Ramadan, the ahkam of soul, the ahkam of everything that is related to Ramadan. And we need to check ourselves during the month of Ramadan. Because when you are hungry and thirsty, it is time when you humble yourself. And when you humble yourself, you can see who you really are. And you and I as human beings, as creatures of Allah, we're nothing. Nothing. We were just a little nutfa of money. And then because of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, we developed and we get big. ألم يكن نطفة من مني تمنى ثم كان علقة فخلق فسوى فجعل منه الزوجين الذكر والأنثى أليس ذلك بقادر على أن يؤتي مالا لبنا أيحسب أن لم يره أحد ألم نجعل له عينين ولسانا وشفتين وهديناه النجدين. Whatever we see in ourselves, we think this very thing makes us who we are. That very thing does not belong to us. ألم نجعل, we're made for him. It's Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. تذكر جميلي ذكر إذ كنت نطفة ولا تنسى تصويري لشخصك في الحشا وسلم لي الأشياء واعلم بأنني أصور أحكامي وأفعل ما أشاء سبحانه وتعالى. So we don't want to be superior to anyone until we meet Allah في الأرض دونك مؤمنا ولا كافرا حتى تغيب بالقبر لأن ختام الأمر عنك مغيب ومن ليس ذا خسر يخاف من المكر هل لا يأمن مكر الله إلا القوم الخاسرون. The month of Ramadan is the month of Quran. Quran was revealed to the Prophet ﷺ during the month of Ramadan. Allah says, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. The Sahaba, even prior to Ramadan, during the month of Sha'ban, they did their best reading the Quran day and night. Some of the Salaf used to close even their doors, their businesses, during the month of Sha'ban. And when the month of Ramadan comes, it is reported that Sayyidina Shafi'i rahmatullahi alayhi used to make 60 khatma in the Ramadan. 60 khatma. One khatma during the day, one khatma at night. And it's doable. Sometimes when we are told to things like this, we say, no, that's not possible. We're saying that to justify our weakness, to justify our qusurul himma, our lack of determination. But wallahi, it's possible. You just need to fail in college. And he said his friend saw a competition, eating competition on TV, and there was some couple of thousands of dollars to be paid. And then he said he participated, and then he won. And he said, wow, if I win this as an amateur, maybe I should do this professional. And he was searching on TV, on the internet, the eating contests throughout the world. And he found out one here in New York that they do on July 4th. And he watched it and see how they eat, And he said, the way they all eat looks similar. Maybe I should develop some eating techniques. Maybe if I put a sandwich into two and then put one in the other, and then, and he did it. But he had also some difficulty. He said, maybe I should put it in the water so that when the time they pause to drink, it's easy for me to eat and not stop because I don't need to drink. He develops it. And he happened to, participate. And the record he did was unprecedented. And none of them believed that it was normal. They even said, oh, it is the Japanese government who sent us this spy or to sabotage. And they examined him, they checked everything to see if he took some, it was, but they came to understand that he developed these techniques. So if one can do that, just for the worldly gain, we guys can do it when it comes to Quran, when it comes to everything. له همم لا منتهى لكبارها وهمته الصغرى أجل من الدهان. I always quote this saying of Sheikh Tijani, who said, since I was a young person, a kid, I've never started something except that I finished it. He finished the Quran itself at age 7. At age 7. But here, even 21 years, we think we're a child. But that's what the system makes us look like. So let us do our best with the Quran during the month of Ramadan, which is the month of Quran. The hal of the Muslim with the Quran, the relationship of a Muslim with the Quran in Ramadan is different from any other month. You will find the Muslim struggling to read more, to memorize more, to understand more, using his spare time, lunch time, anytime they have, to develop more of understanding of the Quran. Sometimes even in the fiqh, tawheed, lugha, bayan, but very few you will find developing their level of understanding, increasing their understanding of the Quran. وأي خير في علم ليس له علاقة مع القرآن. What is good in any knowledge that has nothing to do with Quran? وعلم لا يوجد في القرآن الكريم. Is there any knowledge that is not found in the Quran? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ما فرطنا في الكتاب من شيء. Allah says there is no thing that is neglected. Every single thing you can think of or you cannot even imagine is in the book, says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه, he says. Any knowledge you are seeking, you will find doubt in that knowledge. But this book, Allah says there's no doubt about it. Everything is certainty. And certainty is what we need to have a happy life. And happiness is what we're looking for. When you go to college, when you go to work, when you get married, when you have friends, when you have anything, we ask you why. Because when I have a good degree, I have a good job, why? Because I will have money, why? Because I've got married, why? I want to have children, why? I want to raise family, why? I want to be happy, why? Nobody's going to tell you why you want to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy. But why you want to be happy? That question is never heard. And happiness cannot be found in anything but in Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. In anyone but in Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. Happiness is only in the heart. And when the heart has Allah, that heart is happy. When there is no Allah, have everything in life, you will be miserable. Nasullaha فنسيهم نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم. أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى لنا ولكم العافية. هذا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين رسول الله سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. So inshallah we have niyyah to inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala gain all the benefits of Ramadan throughout the Quran, throughout helping others, throughout iftar for the Sa'imin, throughout Tarawih, to train ourselves to do more tahajjud throughout Ramadan and outside Ramadan, throughout i'tikaf, have some days in the masjid, use our vacation days of Ramadan to come to the masjid. We can make Umrah, go help as much as we can. As the Prophet ﷺ was beyond imagination of generosity. But his generosity in Ramadan couldn't be even described. Ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to make it easy for all of us. Reach Ramadan, and we ask Him Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to grant us tawfiq of fasting the month of Ramadan. اللهم بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا رمضان. اللهم يسر لنا صيامه وقيام لياليه. اللهم يسر لنا امورنا مع راحه لقلوبنا وابداننا والسلامه والعافيه في ديننا ودنيانا. اللهم لا تدع لنا في مقامنا هذا ذنبا الا غفرته ولا هما الا فرجته ولا دينا الا قضيته ولا مريضا الا شفيته ولا عدوا الا كفيته ولا عيبا الا سترته ولا ميتا الا رحمته ولا فاسدا الا اصلحته ولا حاجه من حوائج الدنيا والاخره الا قضيتها ويسرتها لنا برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين. اللهم انصر الاسلام والمسلمين. اللهم اعز الاسلام والمسلمين. اللهم اعل كلمتك كلمه الحق والدين. اللهم ان امه محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم مغلوبه فانتصر. اللهم انصرنا على اعدائنا. اللهم انصرنا على اعدائنا وامسخهم على مكانتهم فلا يستطيعون المضي ولا المجيء الينا. اللهم يسر ولا تعسر وسهل لنا كل امر عسير. اللهم اقض لنا جميع الحاجات وطهرنا من جميع السيئات وارفعنا عندك اعلى الدرجات وبلغنا اقصى الغايات من جميع الخيرات في الحياه وبعد الممات. اللهم افتح لنا ابواب العلوم والرضا والتيسير واغلق عنا ابواب الفتنه والفقر والكسل والجهل والتعسير وكن لنا وليا ونصيرا. انت ولينا ومولانا فنعم المولى ونعم النصير. اللهم اجعل ما نشاء موافقا لما تشاء فلا يصير ما نشاء مخالفا لما تشاء وما نحن حتى نشاء خلاف ما الله يشاء. لو جاهد العبد وشاء ما كان الا ما تشاء فالطف بنا فيما تشاء وما تشاءون الا ان شاء الله رب العالمين. صلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه اجمعين في الصلاه.
الله أكبر والله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة والله أكبر والله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقونه فدية طعام مساكين فمن تطوع خيرا فهو خير له وأن تصوموا خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. شهر رمضان الذي من كان مريضا وعلى سفر فعدة من أيام أخر يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. I also want to remind you that our summer camp registration is open. Inshallah, if we're gonna have Quran and Arabic and Islamic studies summer camp here, inshallah, starting I think the month of July. So feel free to come and see us. And,
Where are you? You come back? You just came back? Today I came in because of the rain and I had no car.
Has the family back home?
No.
inshallah, together divided. Sisters now are being kicked out of the masjid. That's not bad.
عندك سماعة
أجلس
عندي حاجة والله النخلة طلعت نخليها
تمام بلال. هذا سر هذا سر
What time they trained me, I didn't know.
And I know all these came up to the front of you, and you know, the prayer was 1:30.
You're right. So when they sit, nobody sees them, but they see. Like the size. You know this website.
No, somebody bought something. So you here occasionally.
Okay, yeah. I thought I saw you at the clubbing center.
What's our name?
حسن رازا Wants to shake your head.
My buddy. Inshallah, I'll see you. Inshallah, make it easy.
More than half. I think it's all cash. Okay, let me see if I can actually double cash. Okay, I'm gonna be qualified.
My basketball guy. Yeah, I will do it like this weekend. So I have your name. 10 days. Wow, he's gonna leave us. You wanna check everything now? Give us some days, please.
10.
Yeah, people in Ramadan, mashallah, they are
Sure. I'll just quote you. You look like a ton of right. 347.
596.
I was living in social media like you need to. I like this. Politics yeah, the French.
It's my guy.
He's fighting me and I'm your guy.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go, me and you.
Me and you?
Go
Okay,
share.
let's go.
Who's not the chef? Let's go.
What's up, come?
Yo.
What?
I want to go check.
Assalamu alaikum, habibi.
Yes.
I did that on purpose, okay?
I am so